welcome to another episode of the 1878 United Fan Zone.
Mm-hmm.
Today we're going to talk about Ineos. Some people love them, some people hate them, some people are in the middle. So we've kind of wanted to have a show today about kind of where me and Mikey sit individually. Some things we agree on, some things we disagree on. I wanted to kind of let you start off, Mikey. As of right now, they've been in for what, a year, just over a year and a half now, was it?
Yeah.
What's your take on them so far?
So I think the proper context in which to view Ineos in is the state of the club they're entering, right? They're entering a club that's been dominated by a greedy American family, right? That have incurred or that has run up this debt that is crazy and first off, they didn't buy the club, they
Yep.
leveraged it with debt, and it's just accrued over time, slowly and ballooned, and all they put nothing in, and they've only taken out, and they've only done the minimum payments you can do for the debt. So it's basically like your student loan. If you only put $5 in, that's not going anywhere. You're just going to keep accruing interest. And that's what they've done. They have an infinite money glitch. And this is what Ineos has come into. They bought 25 or so odd percent of it at one point. They've increased it since. They put money in the club. And let's start there. So one, Ineos has done the right things that we've asked the Glazers to do. They've come in, they've talked to the fans, they've told us what they want to do. They've communicated with the fans the whole step through. They said it was going to be kind of like how Amber had. They said it's going to be rough and there's going to be some suffering, but this is what we're going to have to do. My biggest thing with Ineos is the optics of the whole thing.
Yeah.
I understand that what they're doing now, we're not going to see the benefits of it, if there's any, until later on. We're not going to know later on. What rubbed me wrong about Ineos is them asking the mayor of Manchester for people to fund the stadium at one point in time.
Yeah.
That was their first thing that I didn't like. I didn't like the comments about the women's team, putting them on the back burner. I don't like I'm not a fan of the cuts. I'm never a fan of somebody losing their job. I understand it's a necessary evil when it comes to business, but I'm not a fan of that, especially when, we're paying guys that were in a job at one point that way more money that we're doing for the cuts. But once again, we're not going to see the benefits of all of those things for a few years now, right? We're not going to see what it's going to look like. Like, hey, we cut this many and this is what it resulted to. These things are brand new. They're fresh. So I'm okay with giving it time. I don't like it, but it's okay. I'm not Ineos out or anything. I think they haven't had enough time to really implement it. But do I like what's happening at the club? No. I listened to Andy Minton talk about it. It's kind of changing the identity of the club. The price increase. All these things are just the cost of doing business. They know more than I do when it comes to running football clubs. They already run two outside of Man United. So I am definitely a layman when it comes to it. But the optics of it does not look good for the outside man.
Yeah.
But hopefully, my hope is that it ends up coming to be like, hey, okay, now we've made this money back. We could probably hire a few more staff. We could probably, we don't have to run on a bare bones operation and all these other things. But as far as I'm concerned, it's just the optics thing. It's not a business thing.
Yeah. For me, I think they're doing a good job. And for the people out there that don't think they're doing a good job, let's take a back step real quick. They came in, they took over a certain percentage of the club. From what we're hearing, United were about to go broke. Like, I mean, broke.
Belly up. Yeah.
Like, could you imagine if we'd gone broke? That's a 12-point deduction this season. That's automatic relegation right now. We ain't surviving a 12-point deduction this year. So the money that they've put into the club has been massive for Manchester United, and it's keeping us afloat. For 20-odd years of just poor management of billionaires who don't put anything into the club, are more than happy to go spend on their other club and make those champions by going and getting Tom Brady, but they're not willing to, put money into us. Now, to the people that say, well, they've spent. Yes, they have. But they've spent our money. They've spent not a penny of their own money. They're actually the only owners in the Premier League not to invest any of their own money into the club. That's horrendous, considering how long they've been here.
Yep.
Radcliffe has been here how long? And he's already put money into Manchester United to keep them afloat. Now, the cuts, I hate the cuts. I think there's necessarily cuts there that needed to be had, but not as many as we've had, and not to some of the staff. You know, if Kathy was still there, I'm sure she would have got cut at some point, to be honest with you. Which is insane to think, but I think they might have done.
People would die.
Yeah, I know, but people would riot. But
fucking riot.
Yeah.
She's the only one that had job security.
Yeah. But let's look at what they've done on the pitch so far. They are getting rid of what we like to call the rot right now. They're getting rid of, you know, they've managed to loan out players on 75% of their wages, 90% of their wages, something we could never do in the past.
Yeah.
Then those players, like Rashford, who has reports say a $40 million buy if Villa decide they want to buy him. It's not obligation, but if they want to buy him, it's $40 million at the end of the year. That's a decent amount for Rashford, considering where he is in his career and how he's been playing.
Right. Agreed.
Anthony scored again today. Doing fantastic over there at 𝙈𝙊𝙍𝙀.
What a player.
I'm not going to talk about players in that contest, but again, you're looking at about 30 million for him at the end of the season right now. If he continues on this path, maybe more.
Right.
We just got 25 million for Sancho. Now, these are players who, in my eyes, are just not good fit for the Premier League. Rashford, yes. Sancho, I don't think Sancho's a good fit for the Premier League. I don't. Chelsea fans are starting to boo him. I think Anthony is a player, just not in the Premier League. We can see that he did well at Ajax. He's doing decently at Betis. We can't read too much of that into it because this is his third game. But they're much slower league. Now, I'm not saying necessarily they're better, but they're slower. So those leagues the players like that are able to have more time on the ball. They're not closed down as quickly.
No.
So, of course, players over there, they look a little better. Again, I'm not saying they're better. I'm not saying they're worse. They just have more time on the ball.
You're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
But there are people that are out there like that. I agree. Sancho is a waste man. But for me,
100%.
for United to be able to get rid of those players and also lower the wage bill drastically. Look at the last couple of players we just signed. 𝙈𝙊𝙍𝙀, 𝗦𝗶𝗴𝙍. They're on not on much over 100,000, if they're on 100,000 a week. We're getting out those players. The only one that's still there, I believe, is Casemiro. That's anywhere close to 300,000. We're not doing that anymore. We're bringing young, excited talent. They're doing it with a youth team, bringing in some of the best players that we see in the youth academy to bring up.
Right.
So, yes, they're making cuts. And I do understand your point of the stadium. But from what I'm hearing, Man United to get that stadium is a necessity for Ineos to eventually push out the Glazers. Because they will use it as leverage.
Hold on real quick.
Yep.
Now, what I said with that was initially the first ask.
No. I agree with you.
What I didn't like. What ended up being the deal is what I was like, okay, well, if they're committed to revitalizing the neighborhood, the only fear I have there is for the 19,000 people that live in that area, or 17,000, is, rent escalation, property value escalation. Well, that's a good thing if you own a home, but if you're trying to own a home in that area, might be an issue. If you pay your rent in that area, that might be an issue. It might boot out certain people and not others. So that nasty G word. So, you know.
No, I agree with you. But for them, the stadium is a necessity. They need it to push out the Glazers. The Glazers are not going anywhere as much as we want them to go for at least 6-7 years until that stadium is built. Because they need it for leverage. Because if they pay for it, they can leverage it against the Glazers. Now, what I was saying to you earlier, which is pissing me off more than Ineos, is the Glazers are master tacticians at this. They've brought the Glazers in. No one's going we see it, in the chats that we do and online, but there's not that Glacier out movement anymore. There's no protesting outside of the stadium. There's no big, we want Glaciers out, because they've let Ineos be the fall guy. Even though Ineos has done a lot for Manchester United right now. I was just talking about a second ago how much they've put in. We've had to do all of these layoffs, right? All of these people that are at Man United, and some of them have been there for a long, long time. Why is the Glazers not put any money into Man United to stop that happening? Even if it's 50 mil to keep half that staff, why haven't they done it? Because Ineos can't put any money in right now. According to FFP, they're not allowed to put any more money into Manchester United until after June, till the fiscal year. So why hasn't the Glazers gone, hey, you know what, we'll put some money in? I know one of those motherfuckers is on the board. He knows what's going on. So why haven't they put any of their own money in? We've had reports coming out that they won't go to Tampa Bay in the summertime because they don't want to see how good the Tampa Bay system is and how their training facility is compared to us.
It's hilarious.
It's hilarious.
One of the funniest stories ever.
So what I want all the United fans out there, and we've had a lot of new subscribers in the last couple of weeks, and we welcome all of you. Ask yourself, is it Ineos the problem? And I know the optics look bad right now. But behind the scene, you've got two fat men sitting there laughing and going, ha ha, we're not getting this shit anymore.
Family of them.
But the rest of them want to sell. It's only the two that don't want to sell. So for me, it's pissing me off that Ineos are taking all the blame when for 20 plus years, the family have run this club into a ground so badly that the great Manchester United that made all their money, and let's not forget, we didn't get owned by like City or Newcastle or Chelsea. We didn't get given money. We made it through winning. We made our money. That we're fucking broke. We're fucking broke because some assholes in Tampa Bay don't want to put a damn penny. How embarrassing is that? And I want everyone to understand that, Ineos out. Look what they're doing. They stopped us from growing broke. Now, we're talking about in the summertime, you got all of that money that we just said that's coming in for those players. I believe it's like 75. If all of those go, we're looking at maybe 75 million in saved wages.
Is that facts?
It's around a yearly thing, around 75 million a year. Because you're talking Rashford's on 300 grand a week. Casemiro's on about the same. So that's close to that's over $1 million.
Hold on real quick.
Yeah.
I was really talking about Robbie the Picked. The Glazers and Ineos did not attend the Munich ceremony and Dennis Law funeral. That's wild.
That's insane.
That's wild. If I could get my fat ass up and go to Munich, you can go on your private jet.
I'm surprised Jim didn't go to that.
It would be nothing for them. That's insane. That's disrespectful.
It is. It's extremely disrespectful. But I expect that from the Glazers, though. I expect that from the Glazers. Ineos, I'm very surprised they didn't go.
He's in a damn monument outside of the stadium. You go to that. You go to it. That's insane. Yeah. It's disrespectful. It's a slap in the face.
And Dino said, I've got a friend that works for Traffic Council. She's chatty normally, but goes quiet when asked about the development of Old Trafford. It's coming. We know that Manchester United own 2 slots over the road. It looks like the government and the Manchester City is going to... you're right. I bet the Glazers don't even know who Law is. They're gonna. So the development's gonna happen. The stadium's gonna happen. It's just when we get funds for it, from our end of the perspective, which I don't think is too far out. I think there's gonna be an announcement at the end of the season. I really do. I think this thing's coming quicker than we think. But that's just my take on Ineos, and I want everyone to give them more time, because I know we could have had a sheik come in and buy us a new stadium and get us out of debt. But it didn't happen. So...
yeah, it's over.
It's over. We got to deal with what we got to deal with. What we need to do as fans is bring back the Glacier out movement and get them out, because they're the ones hurting the club, not Ineos. Because I really do think if Ineos could have invested more money into Manchester United, I don't think we would have these layoffs. Not as many. I think we're going to have layoffs, obviously, because we had the most staff in the Premier League of all the teams. So some were going to happen, but I think a lot of the staff doesn't go if they could invest more money. And I think they're going to. It's just going to be after June when they're allowed to add more.
I like I said, I think anybody that's saying Ineos out, it's kind of like saying 𝙈𝙊𝙍𝙀 out. It's way too early to be saying these things.
Yeah.
It's way like you've seen nothing. But that's the thing with Man United and his fan base. I'm arguing with this guy all day about, I'm like, you guys are just, I had one guy telling me today that he never wanted Ineos and this was just a bad pick. And he just knew it would be like this. And it's like, how do you make such definitive statements? And these guys have clearly, I'm not defending Ineos at all. I've been on record to say that the optics do not look good in people. Nobody wants to hear about layoffs. That's never a good thing. Everybody in the chat, maybe you and me even, we've all been fired from a job, or we've all been laid off from a job, or had to, you know, it sucks. It's not a nice thing, or having to leave a job for whatever reason. So nobody likes that. But at the same thing, at the same rate, you know, I think we have to give them some time to see if these things work. Cutting off the company credit card, the Christmas. The one thing I will say that I didn't understand is like Bruno was offering to pay for it and they didn't let him. I'm like, okay, see, that's just weird.
Yeah.
That's weird. But it's like, you know, we got to give them some time. So I do think I still want them. I want them to be the best people. Right. As a layman who doesn't understand the day-to-day operations, because nobody ever says this. We do not understand the day-to-day operations of a football club. Like none of us, like fans, a lot of the pundits don't, right? All we get is the information that comes down that's allowed to come down, and things that break and get leaked. So like, you know, all of us are armchair owners, need to sit back and let the real owners do something. And then we need to be able to scrutinize them if they're making, like, for example, the Dan Ashworth deal.
Yeah.
They fudged that. They picked the wrong guy.
Yeah.
And they didn't know they're picking the wrong guy. But how many times you've been on a job, they hire a fool, and then they get rid of him, and then they hire somebody else to do the job better. They pick the wrong guy. Dan Ashford was the wrong guy. They think about doing another guy. Sometimes you have to do that. I commend their ruthlessness in getting rid of him and admitting it and saying, hey, this was the wrong guy because he wanted to do this, this, and this. And he was talking about Southgate and all that kind of craziness. And we wasn't having that. And he didn't look like he wasn't on the ball. So we got him out of there. Fair enough. But they did get it wrong. So people are going to hold their feet to the fire for that.
Yeah.
It takes time, bro. Everything takes time. Nobody's coming in tomorrow. No players getting signed tomorrow that's going to change this club. No financial money is going to come in mysteriously that's going to get us out of debt. There's going to be no tactic that changes the way we play overnight. The manager's going to take time. All of it's a waiting process, and we're not used to this because we're serial winners. But for 10 years, we've been serial fucking losers. So everybody needs to change their mind and buckle in.
Yeah. Yeah, so
Glenn said both of you's out. Please stop bringing up Glenn. No more Glenn.
No, but yeah, it's just I'm with you. It's just things are not going to change overnight, and I don't think people understood until recently how dire the situation was at Manchester United when it comes to money.
Yep.
And I you know, when they came in, it was just, oh, everyone's going to fix it. It's going to be an immediate fix. Ineos are using us for a tuck-ass stadium. Then use us for a tuck-ass stadium. Because no one's going to complain about
a tuck-ass stadium. What does that mean?
A fuck-ass stadium.
No.
I think it means a fuck-ass stadium. Do you know what? If we have to pay for it, we have to pay for it. Because no one's going to complain when they go to this brand new stadium. It's got a big ass fucking thing at the top, and we get like nice fancy meals instead of rats running around and a waterfall at halftime when it rains too much in Manchester.
Get online, get on here and defend your point, because I don't like what you're saying. You're making definitive statements, Casey, and I don't like that.
What's he saying?
Broke ass liars. When they were trying to get the team, they said the corporation was going to absorb the debt. That what happened to that? He said, "I'm driving and talking on the phone at the same time. You're also drinking, and you're drinking and driving."
But yeah,
no,
like,
I feel what you're saying, though.
yeah, like you've got to give them time. And
It needs time.
for me, you said it earlier. For me, Ineos are like the manager right now. New owners, new part owners, new manager. What do we do with the manager when we first comes in? We back him. You got to back him. We got to back these owners until like Ten Hag, we just couldn't do it anymore.
Yeah,
then we go Ineos out. You know?
Sure.
But the thing is, he's already said on TV he's never going to sell. Glaciers are probably the only way Glaciers are leaving is some type of hostile takeover, which is going to be used. The stadium's going to be used as a leverage to get them out. I think they already know that.
I think it's going to be I think a large bid will do it. But that's the thing. It's like we're buying the debt as well, right? So that's I think you're 100% right when it comes to the stadium being a leverage point. Look at Tottenham. Tottenham puts nothing into their players. They put nothing in. They get players you've never even heard of. Dragosin? Who the hell is that? They're going and buy guys like that. Scottish guys in that. Right? I'm saying. And because they know Beyonce gonna be there for Cowboy Carter in a couple weeks, and she gonna sell out, and them tickets going for $15 a piece. My wife just bought a ticket to it. They spent up our money giving it to Beyonce, and she's gonna do it right there for 4 nights, and people are paying that.
Yeah.
That's why they don't have to put in. So you just imagine Beyonce, Taylor Swift, Manchester, and the Wembley of the North, $1,500 a piece. That's going right to Man United pockets, baby.
Dan Taylor's saying need to do what Michael Keaton did in The Founder, the McDonald's movie. I don't know if you've ever seen it.
He's such a slime ball.
But that's the thing. That's what they're trying to
do.
Me
so mad.
That's
that
what they're
getting. So mad.
That's what they're doing. They're using that stadium, and they're going to use it because they're going to pay for the stadium, which is going to cost $2 billion. Now they're going to use that as leverage of stock inside of Manchester United, which is going to bump them even higher. They need more stock in Manchester United. They need more money into Manchester United to be able to do any sort of hostile takeover, as it's called. You know,
Dan Taylor, you just triggered me. Ray Kroc is an absolute thief.
Yeah, he is.
He stole it, man.
But that was a great movie, though.
It was a very good movie.
It was a great movie.
Very good movie. Shout out to Michael
Keys is saying too many snitches in these shows, yo. We didn't snitch. It was your boy that snitched on you the other day. Casey did the other day about him rolling up to with R. Kelly.
Oh yeah, you was playing R. Yeah, now we know you be playing R. Kelly.
Mm-hmm. We didn't snitch on you, man. That was your boy Casey over there.
He's be playing R. Kelly. How long will it take to build a stadium?
2 years. 2 to 3 years.
Relegated by then in a fancy stadium watching Millwall. Yo, if we get relegated, we get relegated. Like, why is that the worst thing in the world? You know what? There's only 6 or 8 teams that play now that have never been relegated in the top flight.
Arsenal's
it's okay. We've been relegated before. We'll be back.
I think Arsenal is the only team in the Premier League that's never been relegated. Oh no, Everton. Arsenal and Everton. It's Arsenal and Everton. Yeah.
There's a few teams that
even Liverpool have been relegated before.
That's never went down.
Yeah. To be fair though, when you said it's not a bad thing. Oh dude, we go broke if we get relegated. We go broke. I don't know if Man United survives going down the Championship financially, dude. I just don't. That's a lot of money to lose. A lot of players being sold. Yeah, that's not a good idea. But
technically speaking, the only top division team to never been relegated to lower division is Arsenal.
I thought Everton had never been relegated. I don't think Everton's ever been relegated. I'm pretty sure Everton's never been relegated.
Everton were relegated for the second time in 1950 to 51 and didn't earn promotion until 1953, where they finished as the runner-up in their 3rd season in the 2nd division. That's why he said technically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I just want to move on from because we were going
to. I don't know where I got 6 from.
I just want to move on quickly because we weren't going to do that longer show tonight. It looks like I can never pronounce his name. 𝗕𝗓. It looks like 𝗕𝗓 is coming in the summer. I don't know how much the reports are, But again, where there's no smoke without fire, and there's a lot of smoke online right now regarding Quenda going to United for 15 million. It's a done deal. No one's allowed to enter the bids. If this is true, what's your thoughts on it?
Let me just get to
For
Casey.
50.
Casey, we are Manchester United Football Club. Like, if we build a stadium, they will come. It don't matter
Yeah.
who we're playing. People will come to the Wembley of the North. It'll be, bro. I can see Tyson Fury versus Joshua in a few years' time. It's gonna happen. Rare tear, fellas. The best U.S. based Reds going. Thank you, sir. Young, fantastic talent. Quenda, for once again, I don't like to big up these guys because I know the weight of the shirt. He's a great player for Sporting. He's done fantastic young talent. Mr. Green said, "What's up, Mr. Green?" I agree with Mr. Green. Been able to watch him a little bit more. I think the price was right. That is a good price for a highly touted player coming from a decent side. Well, decent when Amarim was there. They're not doing too well now. But yeah, good business. Good Ineos business. One point to the Ineos for getting that in and making that happen. But I just know how heavy that red shirt is. I've said it in the past. We'll say it again. That shirt weighs a ton. Like, Lenny Euros is getting that now. That shirt's weighing is heavy for him because all it takes is one word from a pundit, and yeah, one word from a pundit, and that's what it is.
Yeah.
So shouts to him. Hopefully, come in and make an impact.
That's the thing for me, though. Like, I think with all these big name players going, Sancho, Rashford, Anthony, Casemiro, we're looking younger and younger and younger. You know, Maguire's only. I don't think we're going to keep Maguire after next year. So that whole weight of Manchester United badge, I think it kind of goes away when they leave. For me, like, if a start of a fresh new era with younger players, obviously the weight. So I just think those players coming in, obviously the fans are a little different, but with the new manager playing a new system, for me, it has to go away because we're not going to be successful without it. Without that weight going away, I think we just don't be successful.
The thing is, though, it's like the weight is how well we've been, how good we've been in the past. People want to get back to that, right? The idea for Man United is that all the rest of the rival clubs know is all it takes. We have a behemoth behind us, right? Once we get the finances right and we pick the right coach, it's not a long time. It's not going to be crazy for us to make a resurgence back.
Yeah.
I always like to think of us as the Lakers, right?
Mm-hmm.
The Lakers just need the Lakers have a behemoth of a fan base behind them, right? They have a behemoth of a machine behind them. They've just been getting it wrong in the front office.
Yeah.
They're getting it wrong on the court. The minute they get that right, the monster that is Manchester United will go back to where it is, and that's what everybody's afraid of. But that starts on the pitch, and every time somebody does something, what do they compare them to? Roy Keane wouldn't have did that. Scholes wouldn't have did that. It doesn't matter who it is. These guys haven't played for 20 years now. Oh, Rio was like this. They get named with those guys. It's not Antonio Valencia. It's not Anthony Martial. It's not none of them. You get named with legends every time you mess up. Every time something wrong. What last show? Mr. Green said, "Man, they need a Roy Keane." Man, talk about Roy Keane. You know what I'm saying?
I think we
That
do
shirt
need a Roy
is
Keane
huge.
type of midfielder. Like that. When I said, I think when he meant was like a Roy Keane, I think he meant with
That's what he
kind of
meant.
like,
I'm just saying, look at the magnitude of who you're being compared to. I know exactly what he meant,
Yeah.
but he's not saying nobody pedestrian. They're naming legends, right?
Yeah.
That's why the shirt is huge, because people are looking to you to be that next batch of legends, right? They're looking for that, and it's never gonna go away. It does. We're suffering from our own success. That's all it is.
Mr. Green, I believe I believe there is a plan. Young signings, a new stadium. The team will gel into a squad just in time to move into the new digs and new era begins. Yeah, but that's what's going to happen. We're going to have to bring young, talented players. Jamie Vardy's not going to Manchester United. There's not a chance on this planet that Man United signed Jamie Vardy. I don't care who put that out. I really don't care who put that
Yeah,
out
it's
there.
gonna
He's
happen.
not going to Man United in the summer. Look at every single signing Man United have done. It ain't that. We're
No.
going for young, talented players. And he's saying, whoa, 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 don't bring the Lakers into it. I'll bring the Lakers into it. You know,
We're exactly the Lakers, bro. We used to win everything. We've won everything. What did we lose? A coach, and we lost players. And then what? Started getting it wrong in the back. The only difference is that there's no debt. There's no crazy debt. But look, Jenny Buss, the Buss family, all of them, Palinka, they're running it into the ground. Like who? The Glazers. It's the exact same thing. You could sign a big name signing and it still not work out.
I'm sorry, I don't see any example. Why should we trust our new ownerships? They have a big success at anything. All their sporting endeavors are struggling since they've taken over.
He's just out on them. That's all it is. There's
No,
nothing we can say to change his mind.
No, well, first off, they're not because they're third in the French league and they're in the Champions League spot. That's a lot higher than us. The Lakers are run better, but we also have shit starts, kind of like LeBron. So,
I ain't doing that, but it's the same. It's the same story. You guys used to win everything. You were always in it, just like Man United. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
But once we get it right upstairs, and then it translates to the pitch, we already have a behemoth of a fan base and money.
For me, I think we are getting it right up. I think it's taking time.
Take
They're
time.
making the hard decisions that nobody wants to do, which comes with owning a club or which comes with owning a business. You got to make those hard, tough decisions. I think they're doing that. We might not like it, but in 4 or 5 years, if we win a Premier League, guess what? That all goes out the window, and guess what? Ineos are the greatest thing to happen to Man United since Alex Ferguson.
And you also have to say if it doesn't work. That's the thing. That's where I'm getting at.
No, I get no. Oh yeah, if it doesn't
I'm not
work,
taking a side in either one. If it doesn't work, then we can shout at Ineos. But if it does work, then they're the best thing since sliced bread. I think that's what people are having the issue with.
Yeah.
Is the parity there? Like, they could do all of this shit and it still go to shit,
and let's not
and we
forget,
still be bad.
Say the Sheik did buy Man United. Was there any guarantee that that was going to work either? Because guess what we would have done instead of signing young, talented players?
Signing every big name there
Every
is.
big name possible, putting them on 400-500 grand a week. We would have
Plus, we
done the
don't know if
opposite.
he had the money. We to this day we don't know if he even had the funds to pay for it.
So
That's what Man United says. I'm not saying that. Sheik, if you're listening, don't send your people after me. I believe in you, Sheik.
After years of funding signings that haven't worked out, can we blame Ineos for being financially responsible? No, we can't.
No,
I'm going to say this real quick. Mr. Green, in the chat, on our main page on YouTube, you go to the bottom, you have our email address on there. Please reach out with your Facebook if you want to be on the show next week or the week after. I know you wanted to come on. We're more than willing to have you on, but just reach out to our email address. And then what we'll do is we'll get you a link sent out to come onto the show. We want to have you on. Your opinions are great. I'd love to have you on.
Yep.
Robbie the Pict, Ineos owe the New Zealand All Blacks a shit ton of money for sponsorship.
They do.
They do. They do. It'll get paid. It'll get paid. My only thing with Ineos is I wish they would sell one of their sports.
Yeah, me too.
But we can't put that money into Man United right now. That's the problem. Even if, say they sold Nice, right? Say they sold it for $2 billion. We still can't put that $2 billion into Manchester United right now.
No.
So what's the difference?
No, you're right. You're right. Casey, you're already out on Ineos, bro. Because none of the shit that they're doing now can make sense for it to accumulate to anything. It's like snow. You have to wait over time for it to pile up, for it to see if it sticks to the ground. Like, that's what we're waiting on. We're just waiting to see if everything that they're doing is going to stick and is going to accumulate. So it's too early to make definitive affirmation or statements rather, to say that, can we blame them for being naive and unprepared because that's how they're behaving? You're so caught up in the optics, which I've already said. They don't look good. They don't look good because nobody likes the all black stuff, that payment stuff, the women's team stuff, nobody likes that. Oh, we've already said that.
Not
But the
only that,
thing is,
how do we know that they were underprepared?
all the business stuff that they're doing is going to take time before you get a verdict. So let's just wait until then before you start spouting. It's harmful to say these things, like to say Ineos out. That's just harmful. Like it's not true yet. Like
Yeah,
it shouldn't be true yet. It's like saying 𝗈𝗻𝙍 out.
yeah.
You got to give that some more time. Even you
And
have to.
my thing is, how do we know that they weren't how do we know they were unprepared? How do we know that? They could have fully known what was going on and gone, "Do you know what? We're gonna do it. We're gonna fix it. It's gonna take time." And they told us it's gonna take time. Amarim's telling us that it's taking time. We've got a shit show storm coming. We need to ride the storm. It's like being in Alabama, man. You got to deal with that tornado every now and again. You know.
Let me ask y'all, everybody in the chat, a question, and write real as much as you can. But like, I don't know how much they allow, but real quick, what would you do if you're Ineos coming into buying this club to remedy what's going on? Because I always hear, "Oh, what's going on, and this is what needs to change." What would you change? What would you change? Like that you think will work tomorrow? Because nothing. I don't see anything would that's gonna work tomorrow. It's a process. It's a process, and I think Ineos is doing it the right way. It just looks wrong. It just looks wrong, but we won't know until for a few years from now. Real quick, I know we're about to end the show, but I need to discuss what Paul Scholes said about 𝗕𝗓𝙍 and just 𝗕𝗓𝙍 and 𝗈𝗓𝙍 as of late. And I think it's a bigger symptom of something that's going on in this YouTube new media thing, right?
Mhm.
So he said he hasn't liked what he's seen so far from 𝗕𝗓𝙍. He would keep 𝗕𝗓𝙍 as the spine of a team who could challenge for Premier League titles. And for 𝗈𝗓𝙍, he's like, what are your ambitions are. He's questioning 𝗈𝗓𝙍. He's saying, are you going to win the Premier League with 𝗈𝗓𝙍 and Euro as your center half? 𝗈𝗓𝙍 has been one of our best defenders this season. Has he got it wrong? Yes, he's got it wrong on a couple of occasions. 𝗕𝗓𝙍, though, is the part that really messed with me. This kid is young. He's raw. And have people built him up a bit? Yes, we do that at Man United. We hype guys up. But he's played 16 games for this club, right? On 2, maybe 3 occasions, he's gotten it wrong. He's gotten it wrong. He's let a goal in, or he's got run past, he's got overrun. But those are symptoms of bigger things that's happening during the progression of the game. It's not necessarily just him. Has it been a couple times just him? Yes. But 𝗕𝗓𝙍 is way too young and has played way too little games for somebody. Now, I know this is Scholesy. He's my favorite player outside Dwight York. He's going to know more about football in his little pinky toe than I have in my entire body. I understand that. I will concede that point. I just think it's way too premature to make an assessment like that, to say you're not impressed when he hasn't played that much. And in the other games where he hasn't gotten it wrong, he's been very solid for us. Coming off the bench, I don't even know how many starts he's made, but he comes off the bench cold and he looks good at 18. He's very raw. People forget about how good Vidic was in the beginning. He wasn't. Sergio Ramos, one of the best defenders, was terrible in the beginning. Patrice Evra, not good in the beginning. So many people. This guy's 18. And are we at fault for bringing him up? 100%. But I don't think you can I think making a observation like that doesn't help the player. It does not. I don't like this starting off like give people a chance, a nurturing environment in which they can build. So at least when they fail, they can't say, hey, this environment wasn't right for me. They say, yo, they gave us everything. They gave us everything that we could have, like such a positive environment. But these pundits, this is what they do. I think they're either one, out of touch with what's going on in the game today, or 2, they're clickable. And I don't think that's what Scholesie's looking for. I'm going to give him that. I don't think he cares about clicks. But I do think he's a bit out of touch with his expectations of what he's won and done in his career, the style of football is being played today, and the type of player that exists today. And then not enough sample size to say that 𝗕𝗓𝙍 is not impressive. I think he's done a lot of stuff at a short age that looks good, and he needs a little bit more grace than that.
Yeah. Does Paul Scholes forget that this kid has been here since August, had a broken foot, and also gone through 2 different managers and 2 different systems? Does he seem to have forgot that? Does, as Mr. Green says, does he seem to forget that he was a young kid like this, and the only reason, well, not the only reason, a lot of the reason that he only succeeded at Manchester United was because he had raw, amazing talent behind him to help him grow, which Lenny Oro does not. He
Come
doesn't.
on, man.
So,
Come
and let's get this right. And I wish, like, I go out to the legend. If you keep talking about the culture of Manchester United and it's not there anymore, you have access to Carrington. So I know Rio, like, we talk a lot of shit on Rio and some of the things he says, but at least Rio goes to the stadium, goes to the training ground. Go to the training ground.
talk to these guys.
Talk to him.
Yep.
You know, take him up to the trophy cabinet and, hey, like, we were a team back then, like, look how we did this and blah blah blah. Encourage them. Bring these players down. What's wrong with you, man? Come on. You say you love Man United, yet all I hear is these these ex players go, "Oh, United are terrible. They're no good anymore." You also played behind the greatest manager of all time. Come on. Like, come on.
If it's not Bruno, it's somebody else that they find. And
Yeah.
listen, I understand criticism. Once again, this guy knows way more about football than I ever know in 10 lifetimes, especially at Premier League level. 100%. I'm conceding that. But I'm just not somebody that believes in, you got to show me how bad you are.
Yeah.
Right? Harry Maguire had to show us. Harry Maguire was one of the best center backs. It was him and Aymeric Laporte when he first came to United. He was playing lights out. It was just them two. People were always talking about them two. Who's the better one? Of course, Laporte was the better one, right?
Yeah.
But then what happened? Greece happens. He ends up falling off. We all slagged him off. Everybody wanted him gone. He played himself back into some form. We had to allow that to happen. We not 16 games and we're already saying, I don't know, I'd keep him, but he's not impressive. He hasn't done anything yet. He hasn't been here long enough. We've switched up the back 3, back 5 situation so many times. He doesn't even know if he's gonna play in it most days. Come on, dog. Come on, man.
Casey saying, I know I'm coming down on our new ownership, but it's hard for me to support them when they're losing millions on their director of football and keeping the coach, but then laying off everyday folk. No, I agree with you. But again, it goes back to the Glaziers, put some money into the club and it doesn't happen. Yeah, like, and yes, they lost millions on the sporting director. But in business, making mistakes happens. Not just in business, in life, man. Yep. How many times have we been with a woman and we realize, God damn, shouldn't have done that?
Casey know about that.
But, like, that's what I mean. Like, we make mistakes and that, like, yes, they're billionaires. Billionaires make mistakes. You know what I mean? They make mistakes. Yep. That's why they become billionaires, because they're successful at their business. They made mistakes. They've corrected it. And let's not forget how many times the Glaziers made mistakes and didn't fix it. They put a banker in charge of running our club and negotiations, and he couldn't do it. Remember back in the, like, this is not even back in the day. This was 2 years ago when we were going for a player and we could only negotiate for one player at a time. And then the whole summer we had to go get some people in at the last minute because they couldn't figure out the negotiation.
Yep.
At least they realized, oh shit, we made a mistake. We're going to fix it now. We don't really need him. We'll let Barada. We don't talk about Barada, right? How good has Barada been for Manchester United? He was good. We don't talk about Jason Wilcox, do we? Because this is the opposite end of the players. We always talk about how good players are when they leave Manchester United. And we don't talk about when they're bad. But we don't talk about how good they are when they're part of the club. But we always talk about when it was a bad thing. Barada's been fantastic.
Negativity.
Wilcox has been fantastic. They're both
do they fantastic. Have work to do?
Yeah.
Yes. But we have my position. We have to wait and see. Yeah. This is a wait and see club now. We have to wait and see. We're throwing stuff at the wall. We're trying to see if it sticks. And like everybody feels that they have the right answer. That's fine. We could all hunch and think, but we won't know. And I'm not making any definitive statements about Ineos until I'm giving them at least maybe 4 years, 5 years even, before we start seeing some real motion And I think they've already made some significant strides. It just looks ugly. It's an ugly look. But I'm never backing the people to get to lose their jobs. Hell no. That's awful. That's
This
awful.
this breaks
Our
my heart.
standards have lowered. Yeah, it lowered before Ineos even got here.
I'm gonna say this, Casey. Right? This breaks my heart to say this. It really does, because I've been a United fan for a long time.
Long time.
We're not Man United of 10 years ago anymore. Do you understand? We're broker than Everton. Everton just got a buyout. They've got a brand new stadium. We're broker than Everton.
We broke, boy.
We're broke. Like, broke. Like, and if it wasn't for the guy that everyone seems to want out right now, we'll be on the streets. There would be no Manchester United.
We'd be like Barry.
That's the thing is, but there is a part of me that does wish Ineos and said, no, I don't want it. But guess what would have happened if Ineos had said they didn't want it? They would have got some bankers to come in and done the same thing. And we would still be stuck with the Glazers way of thinking, because they would be running the football instead of Ineos running the football. The hindsight's pretty good in one way, because if Ineos didn't buy it, a bank would have done it. And guess what? The bank don't know how to run a football club. So they would have left everything to Ineos, to the Glazers. And then we would still be in the same picture. No 𝗕𝗓𝙁, no Jason Wilcock, high wage bill.
Yep. Not
young, talented players coming through. Now, I've always loved Cavani. I think he was amazing. Was Cavani a great choice at the time? Probably not. Was Ibrahimovic a great choice at the time? Probably not, looking back on it.
Ronaldo wasn't a great choice at the time.
No, it wasn't. It was a bad choice.
Terrible. We could have went for Harry Kane that year.
Yeah.
And probably still had him.
Yeah, so that like, as much as we give them shit, let's not forget, if it's not them, it's a banker, because I don't honestly think they didn't want a full sale. There was no way. I honestly think if she could given them 10 billion, I still don't think they would. I still don't think.
I don't see why you would sell. It's literally an infinite money glitch.
Yeah.
You don't have to do anything. You could just reap the rewards, keep taking it, wine and dine people, keep taking the money. And then when it gets too much, all right, somebody take this. We've already made so much more of it, more than we would ever need. Somebody take this 7 billion, and it's yours. We've already raped this thing for 25 years.
Mm-hmm.
What can we do? That's what they are, parasites.
Yeah. And
they've gotten their full 10 times over.
Yeah. I don't see, the only way I see the Glazers leaving is some sort of hostile takeover, which I feel like is coming with the stadium, or the two Glazers that don't want to sell die. It's the only way that that they leave Old Trafford. And I'm not saying,
they should die. No.
They're 60 something years old, 70 years old. Until those two pass away, from however they pass away, they won't sell Manchester United. The rest of them want to sell. But until they go,
I don't know. Chopping up from head to toe. All I know, Joe Glaze is good. Okay, I'm sorry.
You're good. Mr. Green, you're right. Patience is key, right? And I get the upset. I'm upset. I've never seen this before. When I grew up, I was still young when I was a United fan. I don't remember wholeheartedly when Fergie came in and those few years until we won the Premier League. I was a United fan. I watched them. I wasn't old enough to understand that.
Yep.
I've only ever seen Manchester United win. The longest I've gone without seeing Man United win a Premier League title up until Fergie left was 3 years. And let's not forget, in that 3 years' time, what did this fan base want to do?
Get rid of Fergie.
We want Fergie to go. He's lost the plot. We don't know. He doesn't know what he's doing anymore. And guess what? After those 3 years, he won 3 on the bounce. It's the same with Ineos. Like, we want him out. But how do you know he ain't going to go win 3 on the bounce in 4 years' time?
We got to try shit, man.
Let's not forget, we're building a young, talented team. Look what's around us right now. Arsenal are building a young, talented team. But Liverpool? They're still holding on to Salah, Virgil van Dijk, who are going to be 33 this year. Trent's gone. He's already gone to Real Madrid. So Liverpool, obviously, they're going to lose their 2 big players, and look how good they are without them. They lost to Tranmere Rovers. Chelsea I don't know what Chelsea's trying to build over there. But
It's Plymouth Argyle.
Plymouth. Yeah. Plymouth Argyle. But that's my point. Not a lot of the top teams here right now. And let's not forget City, right? City are an old team. And Pep's not going to be there much longer.
Nope.
And we're up and coming now. Yes, we suck right now. But who's to say we ain't going to be the team winning it 2 years in a bounce and 3 years in a bounce, or even a year, just a year and then losing and then winning again in the next 3 or 4 years? I honestly believe in the manager when he says, deal with the tornado, because when it passes, what happens when a tornado passes?
Sunshine.
Blue skies, baby.
Mm-hmm.
That's all
That's
I've got for today. Mikey, you want to add anything? Oh, did we do the score prediction? We did. We did on Tuesday.
Yeah, I want to say 2-1 score prediction. Apparently, shouts to my boy 𝙈𝙊𝙍𝙀. He went ahead and told us that there's gonna be a lot of guys coming back for Spurs. I still think they're not gonna play. They're now coming back from injury.
Yeah, they're not.
If they do
even
play,
if they do, they're not going to be full 90 minutes.
Yeah, I think it's our time to win. This is based on absolutely nothing. I just think we owe them a smacking. And at least we need a win. So I think this is a big game to start setting the tone for certain things. But how many times have I said that? But that's all I got, man. Paul Scholes, you're weird. I love you. I love you so much, but you're weird.
All right, peace out, everybody. We'll see you on Monday for the next episode of 1878, and then on Tuesday for those casual Reds.
Real quick, I'm going to be dropping Monday, 3 p.m. Eastern time. I'm going to be dropping me and Sean met. It was through the banner flown over Tampa Bay. I'm going to be re-uploading that. Probably going to have to do that again, man. You know, the way it's looking, we're going to be the ones flying it over their house or going to their house. But just our protest efforts against the Glazers, that video will be coming back out Monday. Look out for it. And thanks for everybody watching. All the new subscribers, thank you for that. We had a video that blew to
15,000.
Come on, man. Like, we're growing. Jump on this joint with us, man. You could come on live with us if you need. We got Mr. Green on, and thank you so much for the support.
Real quick, Mr. Green, I put the email in the chat. If you go back through it and have a quick look, it's in there. Yeah, please reach out to you. Would love to have you on. If you want to come on Monday, talk about the game.
Yep.
Yeah, reach out to us, and I'll get a link sent to you. But other than that, peace out, everyone. See you later.
Have a good one.